Have you ever felt like you were holding it all together on the outside but slowly falling apart on the inside? Like you're smiling in public, showing up every day, doing what's expected, but beneath it all, you're exhausted, emotionally drained, overwhelmed, maybe even close to burning out. You're not alone. Most people walk through life like that, mask on, heart heavy, and we rarely talk about it, let alone admit how deeply it affects us. But here's the truth. Emotional resilience, the ability to bend without breaking, to keep going when everything feels hard, matters more than we're ever taught. It's not just about being tough or brushing off your problems. That's not resilience. That's avoidance. And avoidance eventually cracks. Real emotional resilience is what carries you through the storms. It's what helps you rise after a failure, stay calm in chaos, and trust yourself even when everything around you is uncertain. Think about this. How many times in your life have you faced something you didn't feel ready for? A loss, a betrayal, a breakup, a job you didn't get, a dream that didn't go the way you planned. Now ask yourself, what got you through it? Maybe it wasn't motivation. Maybe it wasn't even confidence. Maybe it was something deeper. A quiet strength. A voice inside you that whispered, "Keep going," even when nothing made sense. That's emotional resilience. And it's one of the most important skills you can ever build. Because the truth is, life will test you. Again and again. There will be things you can't control. People who disappoint you, moments that shake your world. You can't avoid them, but you can prepare for them. And that's where emotional resilience becomes everything. Let's clear something up. Being resilient doesn't mean you never feel pain. It doesn't mean you don't cry or get scared or doubt yourself. In fact, it's the opposite. Emotionally resilient people feel things deeply, but they don't let those emotions define them. They process, they learn, and they move forward. That's strength. Quiet, grounded, real strength. You see, most of us were never taught how to handle emotions. We were told to toughen up, to get over it, to be strong. But true strength isn't about pretending. It's about facing your emotions honestly and still finding a way to rise. Let's talk about why this matters so much. Because without emotional resilience, small problems feel like the end of the world. A bad day becomes a bad week. A rejection feels like a reflection of your worth. One failure convinces you you'll never succeed. And that's not because you're weak. It's because you were never taught how to manage what you feel. Resilience changes that. It rewires how you respond. It teaches your brain that struggle doesn't equal defeat, that you can feel overwhelmed and still take action, that you can fall and get back up, stronger, wiser, more grounded than before. And here's the good news. Emotional resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, like a muscle. Every time you choose growth over comfort, every time you face a fear instead of running from it, every time you pause, breathe, and respond with intention instead of reacting with chaos, you build it through practice, through self-awareness, through small but powerful choices. Let's say you're hit with unexpected news. Maybe you lost a job or someone let you down. Your first instinct might be panic, frustration, self-blame. That's normal. But instead of spiraling, emotional resilience says, pause, feel it, but don't drown in it. Now, what's the next step I can take? And that shift right there is life-changing. Resilient people aren't superhuman. They just know how to shift their focus. They know how to stay grounded in chaos. And they've learned to separate what's happening to them from what they choose to do with it. So how do you build this in real life? Start with awareness. Notice your patterns. How do you typically react when something goes wrong? Do you shut down? Blame yourself? Numb it out? Overthink? Awareness isn't about judging yourself, it's about getting honest, because you can't change what you don't understand. Next, build emotional regulation. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means learning to sit with them, to breathe through discomfort, to remind yourself that emotions are like waves. They rise, they peak, and they pass. The more you allow them, the less they control you. Also, create space in your life for recovery. You're not a machine. You're human. You need time to rest, to reflect, to just be. Emotional resilience isn't just built in the storm, it's built in the calm between them. In those quiet moments where you check in with yourself, recharge, and reconnect to what matters. And maybe most importantly, surround yourself with people who support your growth, not your destruction. People who see your strength even when you don't. People who remind you of your worth when you forget. Emotional resilience grows faster in safe, encouraging environments. And if you don't have those people yet, be that person for yourself. Talk to yourself like someone you love. Encourage yourself when things get hard. Forgive yourself when you mess up. You are listening to your own voice more than anyone else. Make sure it's not tearing you down. Now, let's address something real. You're going to be tested. There will be moments that hit harder than expected. Days when you want to give up. Times when nothing makes sense. It's in those moments that resilience shows up. Not in loud, dramatic ways, but in quiet decisions. Like choosing not to quit. Choosing to take one small step forward. Choosing to ask for help instead of pretending you're okay. That's resilience. That's power. And it doesn't always look impressive from the outside. Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed when you don't want to, or facing a conversation you've been avoiding, or forgiving yourself for something you can't change. Small moments, big courage. That's the hidden beauty of emotional resilience. It doesn't need applause. It just needs consistency. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, you stop crumbling under pressure. You stop taking everything personally. You stop being shaken by things that once shattered you. You grow quietly, powerfully, unapologetically, and people will notice. They'll see something different in you, a calm, a clarity, a strength that isn't loud but undeniable. So if you've been struggling lately, if you felt like life keeps throwing punches and you're running out of strength, I want you to hear this. You are stronger than you think. You've already survived so much, and you're not broken. You're building. Every challenge, every setback, every moment you thought you couldn't handle, but somehow did, it's been preparing you, forging you, shaping you into someone who doesn't just survive, but rises. Emotional resilience doesn't mean life gets easier. It means you get stronger. And that strength, that quiet inner power is something no one can take from you. So keep going. Not because everything is perfect, but because you've realized that even when it's not, you still are. You've got this. You always have.